Real men use purple. Remember that. Okay, so here's the start of my third competitive battle against a guy named Korn. Or at least third recorded one. So he goes by Kaitsu in his game, or however it's pronounced. So I lead Porygon Z like in my other battles, and he leads Heracross. I get the attack bonus, which isn't very helpful. And I know that he's probably scarfed, but even if he isn't, I don't want to risk it. So I switch out to a physical wall. Yes, I actually have one, a Dusk Noir I was recently traded. So it completely blocks the close combat with its ghost type. And here I wasn't exactly sure what to do. I almost Will-O-Wisp, but I didn't, which was a good choice on my part since he switches to Infernape. So I decided to use Ice Punch. And of course it doesn't do enough. And here I could have switched, but there really isn't much to switch to, especially since my other walls are Blissey. So I choose to Shadow Sneak to do as much damage as I can with this thing out, and use this Flamethrower. I wish that it was a physical 8 because this Dusk Noir is more of a physical wall than a special wall, but either way it takes the hit and gets some leftovers help. So here I don't Shadow Sneak because I know after the hit I'll be kind of low. So I decide to get some out from his Pain Split, and it would have been more if he wasn't Life Orbed. Actually, if it wasn't Life Orb, I wouldn't have taken as much, so my bad playing. So here I use Shadow Sneak, just to realize right after I choose to move that it won't KO, and then he'll KO me. So, use this Flamethrower. It KOs my Dusk Noir, and in turn KOs him because of the Life Orb. And yeah, that was really a waste of my wall, but I made too many mistakes, and I still do. So Heracross comes back out, and here's another mistake on my part, switching in Breloom. And I should have switched here, but I didn't know what to switch to, I'm guessing. So it takes the Mega Horn, and if you don't think it's gonna die, you don't know what a Breloom is. So yeah, it dies. And that would have been somewhat useful later on. I say somewhat because you'll see why later on. So I switch in Weavile, thinking he'll switch, but just in case he doesn't, I choose to attack, and he scarfs, so Mega Horn outspeeds. Of course, I'm Focus Sashed, and if anyone was expecting a Swords Dance, you're out of luck. I don't carry Swords Dance. So I use Aerial Ace instead of Swords Dance, and it murders Heracross and Breloom. So yeah, 4 times damage against it with Weavile's high attack. So here I am sitting at 1 HP, waiting for him to switch. Oh, here came Gyarados. Game over for me. There's nothing a Weavile can do against a Gyarados unless it has maybe a Swords Dance or 2, but as I said, I don't carry Swords Dance, and at 1 HP, what's the point? So here I use Night Slash, probably expecting just to do some damage while I can, and he Dragon Dances. Maybe if I had switched, I would have been able to do something, I don't know. Gyarados beats my team pretty well, although I'm thinking of ways to beat it, and I think I got one. So I switch out Weavile and go to Mismagius, hoping to Perish Song, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly what I was thinking, but at least if I Perish Song, it would be sort of phasing to get him to switch eventually, or die. But again, since this thing is a Perish Trapper, it carries leftovers. So there is no Focus Sash unless it Life Orb. So it's KO'd by Waterfall, so I can't Perish Song. Then he gets help from his leftovers. So I switch to Porygon Z, hoping he'll Dragon Dance, but I really don't think he would. So here I get a special attack boost, but I don't need it. I'm about to be KO'd by a Gyarados. So he uses Waterfall. Porygon Z faints, and here I accidentally hit the camera a little bit. So sorry about that. Readjust the camera and switch to Blissey. My mistake with Blissey actually costs me the game. I probably could have won if I had made a mistake, and you'll see what it is. So here he uses Taunt, and you're probably expecting a Thunder Wave. But instead I use Seismic Toss, and if you remember from my last video, this is a Flamethrower Blissey, so it doesn't even have Thunder Wave. So he gets some help from his leftovers. And here he uses Dragon Dance. And that's normal. Whenever I battle a Gyarados with a Blissey out, there's not much a Blissey can do to it. Especially when taunted, so it'll just keep on Dragon Dancing. So I deal some more damage to it, heals itself a little bit. And here he uses Waterfall. As I was saying, I expected him to Dragon Dance all the way up to the max, since there's not much Blissey can do, but of course, it's a counter Blissey. And let's see, it takes the Waterfall, and I use Seismic Toss. I was so mad. If I'd only used counter, if I'd only known that he was going to stop Dragon Dancing and I used counter, that thing would have been dead by now. Yeah, here's the mistake I was talking about, where, as I said, my mistake with Blissey cost me the game. If I'd only used counter, I love counter Blissey, but I haven't been using it enough. Why am I calling counter Blissey? It's counter Bliss. Okay, so yeah, here I decided to see if I could recover, but Taunt is still out, and it doesn't cost me to move, although I lost anyway. Counter Bliss, got it right this time. Feints to a Waterfall. And then Gyarados gets some leftover Selp. My Weavile comes back out, and this is my last Pokemon at 1 HP. And unless I get a crit or something, which I'm not expecting, and personally I don't like them because they're cheap. So yeah, I put Night Slash just to try to deal damage, but he uses Waterfall, beats me. Weavile's dead, and thanks for watching me lose.